action. Hey, how you doing, everyone? This is Born Leader. This is the podcast. This is our season premiere. First guest, Iskra Petrova, and she didn't want to come prepared. That's very interesting. I love that. Most of the time, people want to have questions. They want to know exactly what they're going to be asked. So she's on the tightrope. So when you're ready, Iskra, we will
I'm
proceed. How are
absolutely
you?
ready. I'm
And
great
what?
and I'm so excited. Yeah.
So am I. Where are you joining in from?
I'm joining from Bulgaria, from the old capital, a very beautiful historic town of Veliko Trnovo. And I'm happy to connect with your international audience, with our international audience. It's amazing.
Fantastic, fantastic. So the way I interview is very well, everyone says it's always different. But the way I do it is I'm gonna ask you some questions. We're gonna go as far back as you can remember. As long as you're comfortable to answer, answer. If you're not, we can just move on to the next question when you're ready.
Okay.
And then we
Yes.
answer that bit because what happens is people sometimes go off on a tangent and they go into all areas all the way back to where we are now. Okay?
Okay. Let's
Cool.
try.
So before we start that, just because of the fact we're on school, I just want to say Iskra, I met her on school. So there's power in school. It's amazing, and I met her in a different community. We're not going to go into too much depth about that. A different community we came into, and then she joined the next community I was in that I was working on, which is Growth Squad Heroes. We're not in Growth Squad Heroes right now. We are in Born Leader, completely different. It's about stepping into your leadership. It's about finding a safe space because school is, for some people, they need that safe space. It's not where AI is operating. You can just have small little chats, this light-hearted chats, and this is the space. So Iskra, just wanted to say that. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. This a warm up. This a quick warm up. You okay? Yes. What's the
Yes.
first thing comes to mind in the next 5 seconds?
Is my ring light going to go off or not?
I love that. I love that. Hopefully you charged it. Okay. So as
Yeah.
early as you can remember, what is the most brightest moment in your life? The earliest you can remember. We're talking about if you remember being born, then we can go there. So
I
yeah.
think I was two. I think I was 2 years old. I was tiny, and we were next to a carousel with my dad, and the carousel looked humongous. I remember a carousel as tall as a block of flats. That's why I know that it's real, because when you hear other people's memories, you receive them the way they talk about them. But I remember this huge carousel and this huge white horse that was spinning around. So I think this is my earliest memory, like
Wow. How did that
conscious.
wow, and how did that make you feel? Because you're smiling already, so that gives it away.
I will tell you why I love this memory, because I developed this practice occasionally to bring back myself into my childhood, because I remember when I was a child, I was so curious about the world and I loved getting out in the morning to go to school or to the kindergarten, and all colors were so bright and the air was so fresh and everything was so exciting. And I was like, don't you see how beautiful the world is? And people, the adults, they were already bored and busy and in their lives, but every day was like such a discovery, such an adventure for me. And I remember this in my body. I work a lot with my body. I mean, one of the approaches I use is somatic coaching and somatic presence. So when I come back into my body and I remember these sensations, it's like immediately gives me a boost of anything, a boost of energy, a boost of joy. Yeah, absolutely love it.
And where's the setting? Where are we in the world when this earliest memory?
This was in the city of Varna at the Black Sea, at the beach, close to the beaches.
And which country is this?
Bulgaria.
Oh, okay. So you was born in Bulgaria, is that correct?
I was born in Bulgaria and I live in Bulgaria, yeah.
Okay. I don't know why I thought you was from the UK. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm only joking. So,
Yeah.
okay. So, what was your earliest moment where you decided that, that you kind of like a incline of like, oh, this person is a role model to me, and who were they?
My dad was a role model to me
Beautiful.
because he's an encyclopedian or Renaissance teacher. He knew everything. He could do everything. He could set his mind and learn something. For instance, he decided to translate a book about how to raise sports pigeons, the ones that you send and they travel across countries. And because the book was on Slovakian, he sat and he learned Slovakian to be able to translate it, to read it and to translate it into Bulgarian.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So at that moment then, did you feel that that was your calling? That was something you wanted to do as well?
Um, my dad was a teacher, and there was a period when he was also a headmaster of a technical college. But as I said, he was so multi passionate, multi talented. He would carve wood, and we would carve together. We would hammer copper and produce. How do you call it? I know in Greek, briki, the thing that you make coffee with. We would make jewelry together, we would draw, we would read books. So I just followed his steps. So I was doing so many different things, and I truly believe that anything is possible for me.
Oh, that's beautiful. Okay. So your father was your earliest memory. So what was your school? What did school look like, or the earliest education for you? Bear in mind that you're saying you enjoyed a lot of stuff and watched and learned.
I loved school in terms of learning stuff because, as I said, I'm so curious. Curiosity is my word, I think, for this week. And I enjoyed it. It was like opening universes, opening new worlds. But I can't really remember. I cannot say for sure about childhood in general. So I love school. I love all the different subjects. I was curious about different civilizations. I tried to read all sacred books of all sacred cultures. Like I was interested very much in comparative religions, cultures from very little. That's a funny thing. When I was 6 or 7, I decided that I want to learn all languages in the world. And at that age, at 6 or 7, I said, okay, I'm going to learn the three most important languages: Greek, Latin, and Hebrew. And if I learn these languages, I will be able to learn anything else. So I don't know. Is this enough
Wow.
for childhood?
Six 6 years old. And so did you learn any of the languages? Did you
I
learn?
When I was 6, I learned Russian. So I knew Russian before I started going to school. My language mother tongue is Bulgarian, so I learned on my own Russian, and then I started learning playing. I tried to learn many other Georgian, um, I tried to learn to write in Tamil, one of the Indian languages. I
Yes.
took lessons in ancient Hebrew. I speak Greek. I learned Polish while I was in Poland when I was 15, 16. So I very quickly pick up languages because of my curiosity. I cannot be left outside of a conversation. I have to participate. I have to understand the jokes, and I have to be in the life of people.
Okay, okay, that's quite funny. So you don't like to be left out. You want to know what everyone's talking about. So you use
Yeah,
curiosity.
I want to
Quite
contribute. It's not that I'm interested in the gossip, but I want to contribute also. I want to create. I say usually that, not usually, often, that I'm a co-creator. So it's not just one person, but sometimes it just happens that I talk a lot.
fair enough, fair enough, fair enough. So in school, what was your favorite subject? What did you enjoy doing?
In school, I enjoyed arts. I enjoyed the club of Russian language and culture. I enjoyed everything. The way I was learning was, it was kind of a play. So we start school and we receive our notebooks, and I would read them within a couple of days, all of them, because I was so curious to know what's happening. So when I'm in class and I hear the teacher talking, I already knew what it was about. So I could say yes and this and that. So I would participate. So I don't think I had a subject that I didn't like. I think I didn't like chemistry, but it wasn't because it wasn't interesting. I think I would associate very strongly with the teachers. So when we had an amazing teacher, I think I was lucky to have amazing teachers. I would love the subject that they were teaching.
Okay. Okay. So did you have was you on your own? Did you have any friends? I've actually figured out this ping for you. I've worked it out. Oh wow, I fixed it. One of the two.
That's
So have
yeah.
you did you have a lot of friends growing up, or was you isolated? How did you manage to be able to learn so many like learn a language, really like take your education to where it was at the time? Because you sound very intelligent from when you was very young, from young age of 6. You was learning a language. So did you have any influence around you, or was you just on your own? What did that look
It
like? Did you
was
have
the
any influence?
family. My family encouraged me. I mean, it was the, as I said, encyclopedian, Renaissance family where everything was possible, and it was full of encyclopedia. And back then there was no internet, and we had these huge shelves of full of books on any topics and anything I would be curious, I would just go pick it up and open and understand and learn and study. And of course, I had my dad. I would always go to ask him something, and he would respond because he knew so much. The thing is that because the environment was so encouraging, and back then I didn't know about it, I expected that every other family and every other kid would be like that. And because things happened to me, um, came to me so easily, I thought that it would be so easy for others. So I tried to help them. I remember walking to school with one of my classmates, and I would tell her, "But this is so easy. Let me tell you how to do it." So I think by learning, by teaching them and helping them, this is how I also learned more, because I tried to take something that seemed complex to them and simplify it so they could learn and apply.
Okay, so
But
what gone?
But there was a period when I think I was really depressed. So that's why I'm saying that
Oh,
school is the learning was fascinating and it was fun. The subjects were fascinating and fun. But I now, from my current perspective, looking back, I could say that I was bullied. I witnessed other kids being bullied, but we didn't know. We didn't talk about it. And I couldn't speak. I couldn't say that I have these challenges. I had no one to talk about it.
wow, I would never have thought you would that would be something you would say. I've never like you just don't know. Like so I mean I've had experience where I was bullied as well. It was for £1. It was just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And it just makes you feel so inferior and it makes you
Mm-hmm.
feel like why me, what's different about me? Why? Did you feel
Yeah.
that you felt that way? Did it
I
isolate you?
felt I was very ugly and I didn't like myself until, I don't know, maybe 20 years of age. I didn't believe when people started giving me compliments when I became a student, 18, 19 years old. I just thought that people are making fun of me when while they were
Oh,
genuinely, yeah, because the way I was bullied was because I was wearing glasses. And people would call me names because children would call me names because of me wearing glasses. And this was something like, you can't not wear glasses because you have to be able to see. And yeah, it
it's funny.
was yeah,
I mean,
it's
glasses is really funny because now glasses is fashion. Like I'll have to ask you, your glasses are nice, by the way. And I'm thinking to
yeah.
myself, are they fashion or you? I used to think to myself when I met you, like your glasses is fashion. You actually
Yeah,
need your
their
glasses.
brand. I hope you don't watch the brand because I don't want to promote it. But
No,
yeah, I
no,
love
they're nice.
I love
They're
my
nice.
glasses. Yeah, they're nice. But back then it was names, it was things, and
Yeah,
I even I changed my posture. I had a little bit of how do you call it?
hunch, like a
Yes,
hunch. Oh wow.
and because I wanted to hide, I had
Oh,
my hair come up to here just to hide my whole face. I wouldn't smile because someone told me my teeth were ugly, so I would be always serious. And all my photos through all my childhood and school years, I'm not smiling on them. So it
oh,
was very, very serious thing. And I
yeah.
didn't know. I had no idea. There was
Did
mental health was not a topic that people would talk about.
did they ever come? Well, actually, let's not go there yet. So, would you say that you didn't become a bully? You didn't bully anyone else. You didn't. Your frustration. How did you be able to cope? Because everyone has a different coping mechanism.
My coping mechanism was to read my books. I could read 1,000 pages a night. Like, I'm such a fast learner. Sometimes, not sometimes, my mouth cannot catch up with with how fast my thoughts are. And I would just immerse myself into my imaginary world and read my books and see all the stories. Maybe that's why I became a producer, because I was all these stories that I would see, all these worlds and lives that I would create from the books.
So
Maybe
how
because
does
of that.
so how does school, like, obviously every country has a different learning kind of, like, call it different stuff, kindergarten, nursery, school, preschool.
Mhm.
What's the education? How does it work when you're in Bulgaria? Is it kind of similar to the UK, Europe, or how's it?
I don't know. We started going to kindergarten. I think I was 2 or 3 years old. Actually, bullying started while we were in nursery or kindergarten. I
Oh
remember
wow.
that the not by children, by the people who took care of us. We had to
Oh,
be under the covers and not take the covers, and I couldn't breathe, and I was getting hot. But again, there was no culture to check and to ask and to have control. It wasn't I mean, this was not a serious thing, maybe not the right word. Bullying is too serious for that.
green.
But I didn't like it going to the kindergarten. They would use words on things, phantoms, ghosts, to scare us so that we behave. And I don't think that it's an isolated thing just for this particular age and this particular time and this particular nursery. It's just I remember these parts, but I also remember very beautiful parts. We had very talented craft, creative, artistic teachers who would teach us to draw and paint and make things and celebrate different occasions. So it has always been a balance.
Okay, so the next part, you got kindergarten, you got school, and that's when you
Mhm.
just start to dive into the books more. You started to read. You was getting bullied in school as well. You're saying. I think
I was, yeah,
kids tend to, with when you got
yeah.
glasses or you look different, So,
Hmm.
so you just stuck to your studies there, and was what you learned in school then what you was looking to do what you're doing now, or completely not the same story?
So we had several layers of schools. We have the primary school until the third grade back then. I think now it's until the fourth. And then we moved to another school, but with the same teachers in another building. And then after the seventh grade, I went into, we call it gymnasium. Is it high school? How is
High
the
school,
system?
is
Yeah,
it
around
secondary
15 years
school,
old.
high school, America?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a special school for people who are interested in physics, maths, and science.
Okay.
So I was very much into inventing thing. I was maybe 12 when I had a nap, midday nap, and I saw the whole construction of a solar generating, solar power system, a solar power, how do you call it, plant.
Yeah,
And I
plant.
woke up and I drew it, and I said, okay, here we will put the mirrors that will reflect the sun rays, and they will warm the water, and it will evaporate, and it will put the turbines in motion. So I will. That's why I studied physics, and my path would be to become a scientist. And I was part of some advanced teams for competitions in
Oh,
mathematics and physics. I studied computer science. I have masters of science. So yeah, it was very fascinating and exciting because we were very lucky with our teachers. At this specific school, at this particular age, they treated us as equal. We wouldn't have to, in some of the classes, wouldn't have to raise hands and stand up. We just sat the way students at university do. So they were preparing us for university, for international Olympiads in maths and physics, and it was really beautiful.
wow. So what changed then? Because you're saying that you was focusing on science and computers. Did
Mhm.
you continue on with that
I cou
pathway?
So after the school, I went to study at university in our capital city. So I left home, which was kind of surprise for my parents because they would have preferred me to study at the university in our town. We have one of the oldest universities in the country, but I just felt it's time for change. So my whole life changed when I went to study at university, and I realized that it just the world is so different from what I had put myself into. I have enclosed myself into this. I call it, I lived in a greenhouse, like protected and sheltered, and whatever was going on, there was always safety. But then there was so interesting there. And I appreciated it because when I went there, I didn't bring the stories of the bullying and all my complexes and my depression. I just, as if I had a clean slate, if we can say it like that.
So, did you speak to your mum and dad regarding the bullying, or did you never share that with them?
I never shared because I didn't know that it was bullying.
And with those days, well, internet was not about, so you just have to just go by with
No.
around you. Was you in a like a city or a village when you was growing up?
It was the city. My hometown is the old capital of our country. It's a cultural town with universities. So yeah, it's a famous one of the most beautiful towns because it's a small one, maybe 50,000 people, 56,000 people. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So, what was your like? What was the transition from you where you was at to change your direction? Because somehow I know what you are, what you was before was very different from what you were studying. So, what happened to make you change? Like, what was what happened?
So what happened is I met a man,
Okay.
a man from Africa. And I followed my heart because I thought that I believed this is the right thing to do. Apparently, it wasn't the right thing for the society, even though society would claim that we're so international and we accept everyone. There was lots of racism.
Okay.
And I just had to focus, even though I started learning Taoism and Qigong and all these martial arts and practices, I actually started learning to be present for what was going on in my life in this very moment through this experience, not experience, through this stage or during this stage of my life.
So, what got you involved in martial arts? What made you think, "Oh, is that because of the bullying, or you didn't know it was bullying?" What you must have some point knew
It's
it
a
was
big
bullying.
story. It's a big story. Do we have time to tell you this big story?
Give us some. Come on, don't hold back. I actually love martial arts. So I'm
So I
always
will
curious
tell you.
when I hear the journey. How did someone get
It
involved in martial
wasn't
arts?
it wasn't at all intention to learn martial arts. It happened kind of a side effect. So the man that I fell in love with whom I have my elder son, when our son was 2 3 years old, and it was the period when I had to work on my thesis to graduate for my master's, he got very ill, my partner. And he was really ill, and it was a matter of saving his life. So we called ambulance. He was admitted at the hospital, and then next day he was returned back home, and one of the doctors told me, "Don't you see he's dying? Girl, go find yourself another man." And I was with my little kid, and why they brought him home was, I believe, because of racism, because of bureaucracy. His papers were not in order. So it was
Oh,
a matter of days to mobilize every resources I had. So mind, this was before internet, before mobile phones. So I had to go and speak with the chief of police, with the mayor, with the municipality to get to extend permission to find money to pay our rent while he was fighting for his life at home. I had to find ways to bring him back to the hospital, to find the medicines. I met with UNESCO, Red Cross, UNHCR, like all possible places where we could find help. Everything had happy ending. He was admitted back, he was treated. But the thing is, from all this stress, because it happened in such a condensed time, exactly a year later, I fell ill and I repeated the symptoms of my partner. So I was admitted in a pulmonary hospital. And while I was there and it didn't seem that the treatment worked, I started telling myself everything will be okay at night and you will wake up with clean lungs and you will be happy and healthy and all these things. And at certain point things started getting better. My sister helped me also. She would come every day. She would do some traditional folklore medical stuff like herbs and aloe and other stuff. But the doctors were surprised when I started recovering. And there was this moment when I was telling myself all these nice things, and then I lost sense of is it day or night, am I prone on or my back, and I saw little people who were fixing my lungs. It was like such an amazing magical feeling, and I
Was
got
it a dream?
very curious. What's that? I wasn't asleep. It was kind of trance meditation, this outer state of consciousness. And after I was released from the hospital, I get really curious what happened, why I all of a sudden started recovering faster than the doctors expected, and all these visions. So then I found this Chinese doctor, and I started studying qigong or qigong
Oh,
with him,
okay, okay.
very deep up to medical level. And then one thing led to another. I learned about Tai Chi. So this was the next step. So it wasn't because of the martial aspect, it was because of the connection with Qigong.
Okay. Okay, I see. I see. And did you continue to pursue Tai Chi?
I continued and I became contestant in international and national competitions. I participated in European Championship, one of the first ones, maybe in the third in Russia. So yeah,
Wow. So you really don't transition from from what is it, secondary school or high school to what you was doing computer science. Then you met your first love, which transformed your whole perspective trajectory. Then he got
mhm.
sick. It's funny how things turn out. Did he recover from being sick? Did you how where was were you when you was in that position? Was your mother and father about to help out and support you? Or was you
They
doing this
took
all on
care
your
of my
own?
son. They took my son because he was little, and we were in Sofia. I didn't say so. This was about the health side and discovering the healing aspects and the
Yeah.
possibility of our bodies to heal, not
Wow.
just through medicine. But at the same time, I was working as a personal assistant in a trade company, and then
Okay.
it was very serendipitous. Like the accountant came and said, my friend in this advertising agency, they need someone. So I left and I started advertising, and it was like a career like that. Like the first 5 6 months, I think I was sent to several countries to be trained for high level executive in advertising.
Oh, that's how you got involved in advertising.
This is how I
It
got,
wasn't
yes.
actual plan. It was from
No,
one.
not at all.
Oh,
I was working several jobs while my partner was ill, and I started working in this trade company, in one trade company as a secretary, then into another company. By that time, I already spoke English. I haven't studied English at school, but I just learned through my partner.
wow.
And then I went into the advertising agency, and things changed a lot.
Yeah. So you went into advertising. So what was it? So how long was you in advertising? Only in advertising. What was that like?
Only in advertising, I was for 5, 6 years, and then
Wow.
classical traditional brand strategy, traditional copywriting, all the things that are in the books.
Yes.
Yeah, Ogilvy, the books that Ogilvy wrote. And then there was another major thing. We had to produce a commercial for one of the big international brands, and back then, there was no film production company to be able to handle this production. So we hired producers from Greece. We did altogether an amazing job because the agency where I worked, we were responsible for the script and all this coordination, the strategy. We had the film production company to do the job. And then I was invited to move to Greece to be part of the management team of this film production company there. And I said yes.
Wow. Wow.
And then I think it was a year and a half or 2 years I was in Greece. I learned the craft of film producing from there. And then I was invited to start teaching film production and advertising strategies and creative strategy at the biggest private university in Bulgaria.
Congratulations. Wow, you have achieved a great deal. How old was you at this point?
I was, let me think, 29, 30 maybe.
Wow.
The funny thing is that I didn't want to become a teacher because my parents, my grandparents, possibly great grandparents, somewhere there. I think I'm a third or fourth generation teacher. It was a lot. When I would ask a simple question, I would hear a whole lecture from all the love that my dad had. He wanted to teach me to think and to discover things on my own, but it was a little too much. And then I said, I'm not going to take the special certificate from university to be able to be a teacher in computers because I'm not going to be a teacher. And then what happened is I was invited to teach at university straight away.
Oh.
So
So
you cannot escape your faith. This is why
no,
I'm saying
no.
it.
Yeah, I'm just like, whoa. So you was doing advertising, then you switched to film. Which one would you say you prefer more, film or advertising?
I don't prefer either.
If you had to choose, that's a good icebreaker. If you had to choose one, Iskra, if you had to choose one, which one? Which
I
one? Because I
cannot
would have
do
thought
that.
advertising was easier because it's just a shorter clip.
Nothing is easy, nothing is simple because
Oh,
um advertising, you mean the strategic part in an advertising agency, or as a producer shooting a shorter or longer form
yeah, which
video?
one did you prefer, short or long form?
We are experts in short form because my company, I have my film production company. My elder son, he's in charge of it. He's the executive producer. I have a business partner who is the founder of a big international network of film production companies. We're specialists in producing short form um, videos, but it's almost the same preparation as working on a movie because we have to mobilize huge crews, lots of research. The only difference is the final edit, because we may shoot for 5 days, and then the result would be 60 seconds or 90 seconds of
That's crazy.
movie that
So,
has so many shots and so many locations and so many characters.
so yours is frames, isn't it? It's frames.
And
Loads.
each frame from the storyboard is a whole setup, like all the lighting and the decor and the set dressing, and this thing, like 90-second short film, could cost $500,000 to be produced.
Wow. And you know what's interesting for those of you who's watching this right now, and for when you're watching it on demand, is the fact that I was doing the intro video for this for Born Leader, and I sent it to Iskra. She's like, no. She gave me a whole masterclass in a couple of minutes. So how it is now compared to how it was before, I was just like, oh, I was thinking it's amazing. There's loads of flashing of the writing, and there's loads. It's just like. You need to think about the viewer, how they're watching it. You have to think about how they see it. Because I was just getting excited. I was adding all these different elements in and all these features. And Iskra just like was just like, it's okay to start, simple, bold letters, and so smooth, really good at teaching. I learned, how was it, like 10, 20 minutes? I had done it all already. I was like, well, about half an hour maybe. And it was all, and I sent it back to her. She's like, oh, it's good. And I was like, oh my gosh, I just got credited. I got credit by film producer. How was this a stat? I was like, yeah. I was so excited sending it around. I was like, I wasn't telling anyone that I'd been, it's been accredited by film, because you've been in film for a long time. So that's a really, really big, you know, boost, you know,
Mm.
because I love editing. But when you just gave me those little bits of pointers, it's just amazing how it's not something you enjoy doing, but you're very good at teaching it. And really, really well as well, because it wasn't like we got on the actual video call as yet. It was just voice messages and text. Then the texting was a bit misleading. I wasn't too sure where it was going. I wasn't sure what to change, what not to. Then when we got on the voice message, and then it was like, you know what, this is get on a call. As soon as you told me over the phone, I was like, doing it, getting it done. No, but it's okay if you don't, if it's too much to do right now. No, I'm doing it, Iskra. And some of you know I am, so I just got on with it, and that was how the final cut. And it's only 21 seconds. Can you imagine? 21 seconds took half an hour to get right. Amazing. So you are an absolutely fantastic teacher. We'll go into more of that. But so what got you from being a director of movies? And how many years was it? Because I'm not gonna just like fabricate it. How many years were we talking that you was in this career that you didn't enjoy doing? You must have
Um,
enjoyed some
I
part,
enjoyed
surely.
it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the excitement. I enjoyed the
Okay.
creative part because you're producing something that really pleasing and you meet amazing people and you brainstorm and you find solutions and you lose a location and then with the director you think, okay, where can we shoot? Because it happened that you book the location, you pay to the municipality, and then you go and someone has parked their car exactly where the cameras have to be, and you have no idea who's this neighbor who decide to park. And then you have luckily the most flexible director. I'm talking about my business partner. He's a film producer and director from Belgium. And then we look around, say, okay, this corner, and immediately we find a solution. So this is really exciting to be able to provide solutions. um, but there are also lots, as in every job, there are lots of stressful moments,
Yeah.
and you get worn out and you start appreciating more your time and your values and different qualities of life, and this is how you decide to pivot at certain moment.
Okay, I see. So what was it that made you what did you pivot to first? What was it that you pivoted to?
I have never had just one thing. I have no idea whether I have ADD, ADHD, or something beyond that. I know that we're all very different people. I don't like to label, but I have always done a lot of things at the same time because I have different parts of me that need to be stimulated and satisfied. So I have my creative part, I have my meditative part, I have my the need to practice my body and do my tai chi. I love to be at the top of the mountains. I'm not a sea girl, I'm a mountain. I like to see far. So it's also with my job. So while I was in the advertising agency and then in the film production companies, at the same time I was a jewelry artist, I was doing tai chi, I was starting going to deep personal transformation retreat. I had maybe the first or the second in the country online boutique back then when e-commerce was not a word and people in Bulgaria were still afraid to use their credit cards. So I like to do things, how to say, I follow my heart, maybe is the right way to say it, or my
It felt
intuition.
it felt right for you. It felt deep inside you. You was like, this is for me. This is the one.
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So
That's one thing that I learned to do while I was involved in this task to save the life of my partner. This
Yeah,
is
because how
when I learned to take action and don't hesitate and don't overthink, because if I overthink, then we are losing.
so talk to us about this like as much as you can in a sense, not like over a 2 hours or so. What I mean by is that what was the thought process? What was you thinking and how long was like you say he was taking looking after your father, but how long was your father, your husband? How long was the process? Like was it just a few months or did it like how long was it? Like and how
So
did you
this
approach
period, the big crisis, I
Mm,
really don't know how many days. I think it should have been 2, 3 days, because we needed to save him. He was with high fever. He has lost a lot of weight and his lungs were inflamed. And I literally think that if I put all the things that happened, all the events that happened, they wouldn't fit in 3 days. It was like as if time stretched and multiple versions of me were doing different things. I cannot explain it differently, logically.
yeah.
And what was happening was I only could do the best one single thing at this very moment. I couldn't try this or that. It had to be the best one and the right one for the moment. Otherwise, we would lose the deadline and we wouldn't be able to find medications or to put him in the
Wow.
hospital or sort out the papers. And yeah,
Wow.
so this
So
is full presence and
mhm.
check, okay, what is needed? Okay, we do it. What is needed next? We do it. But you take the decision right at the moment. So I'm not thinking about what I'm going to do 5 steps ahead, what I can do best right now, and then I move forward. And what is the next best thing? And I move forward, and that's it. I mean, of
'Cause
course, I have the goal.
yeah, because you did say you developed the symptoms a year later. Is that correct? I've
Yeah.
got that right. So
Yeah.
a year after, once so he did recover.
He did recover, yeah, and we separated. So he returned back to Africa. I stayed in the country with my son, and then I got very ill. Then I discovered this possibility that maybe my body is supporting the healing. And then something really interesting started happening over 5 or 6 or maybe up to 10 years. Around the birthday of my partner, I would get sick again. I would start coughing, I would have sore throat and fever. And one day I just thought, what's going on? Something is happening here. What is that?
Mm,
And back by that time, I already knew more about traditional Chinese medicine. I knew that the lungs are the organ of sorrow and sadness. So I started thinking maybe I have not processed emotions, and that's why I'm getting sick and ill exactly at the same time every year. So then this time came and I said, I'm up to here. I cannot continue like that. I'm not going to take any medicines, even if I die. So I just went through it, high fever, like all the stuff. I got this sickness out of my body. I, how do you call it? What is the right word? I surrendered to it. I had this acknowledgement, the consciousness that these things are related. My feelings, trauma, the stress, all these things, they're related to my sickness at the moment. Let's see. I'm looking and I'm trusting that things will unfold in the right way.
okay. So getting back to where you left off, you was in that transition from the film and you was in that point there, that pinnacle point. Continue from there. What happened there?
This is the closer thing, this transition.
Yeah.
This transition. Okay, so I started practicing Qigong in 1994 or 5, how many years back? And
Okay.
I started practicing Tai Chi 2 years later.
Hmm.
And I hadn't stopped until recently. I still practice, but not that intensely. And it was like living double life. like meditation, self-reflection, working with my energy. I healed a lot of stuff. I improved my eyesight, my back straightened up, my joints got stronger and better. My eye doctor, she said, it's impossible. I need to do that too. So I stopped wearing contact lenses. And at the same time, I was doing this very hectic, stressful advertising or production job, and because of these practices, martial arts and qigong, I was able to do the other work. Like I would sit literally at the corner of the film set and I would meditate so that I can bring myself into a state that I could handle some challenging situation. There was one of our biggest productions. I had to take the film director who came, I don't remember, Brazil, I think, and I gave him a Reiki session and I taught him how to breathe because he started having some panic attack or other
Oh,
things. So it was really, um, it, it's very practical to be able
so
to do these things.
you sound, from what we're getting from you, from what I'm definitely getting from you, is you've gone through a lot. It's made you very strong, emotionally,
Yes,
physically. What does a day look like for you when you wake up in the morning? What does it look like before you open your eyes? How does that look for you?
it's different. I don't have a set routine
No routine.
because I don't have a routine because I'm very connected with the energies of the earth and the moon, and I live in micro and mega cycles. So I'm a cyclical person and I follow my nature. So when I feel like sleeping longer, I sleep and I
Okay.
take my dogs out a little later. I have two dogs and a younger son. Um, Sometimes I feel when seasons change, because when I start waking up all of a sudden at 6 o'clock in the morning, I know spring has come. I'm very connected with the energies of nature. So
Okay.
it doesn't work at all to set myself to get up at certain time or to go to bed at certain time. I just follow my energy. But of course, I have developed a routine and I know what works for me, and I
So
follow it.
so so what is the routine? Because I didn't get the routine. Did
I don't.
you?
So the routine is, I don't eat until sometimes 1, 2
Okay.
at noon, and my son either. We just don't feel hungry, which apparently creates this 12, 16 hours intermittent fasting that we're doing
Yes.
every day.
Yeah, without even intentionally doing it. Is that's basically what you're doing? The
We're
intermittent
following
fasting.
our intuition and nature. I drink a lot of water. I like to, I mean, if we talk about eating, I also like to eat seasonal. So in the summer, we eat a lot of fruit. In the winter, not that much, maybe pickles or other things. And as a routine, I walk a lot with the dogs, and I try, if I can not use my car, to not use it.
Okay. So
So
you
this
drink
is a routine.
that. There you go. You've got some. So you have a kind of routine,
I
not
have a
the,
kind, but it's
but
not.
not like a regime, like a militant.
No, no, I
Get out of
don't
bed,
believe it
make
doesn't work for
bed,
me. Yeah,
sit ups, crunches, jumping jacks, and all of that.
yeah,
No.
yeah.
Okay. So when you say you drink water, what water are you drinking? Just like, because water is something a lot of people drink water, but what do you drink? In what type of water are you drinking?
I drink filtered water. I have filters with charcoal, like Brita or something like that,
Okay,
and
yeah.
yeah, normal. I don't drink and all these things that are special, magnetized. I don't know, purified.
Yes, yes, yes. Because I used to drink lemon water, and then I thought I'd be smart about it and just drink sparkling lemon water. And what I got was information. I started to look. I don't know if you've ever watched the movie Nutty Professor
No,
with
I
Eddie
don't think.
Murphy. No,
Ah, yes, I have. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
and
have.
his hands swell up and his feet swell up. Well, that was me, literally, and I didn't even realize. Until my
Wow.
daughter and my mother was like, they looked down and was like, "What's going on with your feet?" And my feet literally had just molded into my ankle. My feet were just, it was really
What
swollen.
happened?
What I didn't realize is that I was using an app. I can't remember what the app's called now. I was saying if it was good to drink. I was drinking like lemon sparkling water, sugar
Hmm.
free.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it was the carbon because I watched the doctor just out. I wasn't even. I don't really watch TV, but I was at my daughter's mum's mother's house, and the TV was on, and there was a doctor talking about carbon, and it can make you get swollen. The carbonated drinks.
Wow.
I was like, oh, so I've been drinking that for like 2 months. My arm, my hands, my feet were swollen, and I was just
Mm-hmm.
continuously drinking because I wanted to have lemon, but I wanted to cheat the system, not
Mm.
realizing I was making myself sick. So that's why I was kind of curious because I always asked this question from previously when I first launched the Born Leader podcast in 2019. What does your morning routine look like? Because everyone's routine is different. It's so
Yeah.
it's just like become a trend. Like it's a, what's the word for it? It's a it's the trend. It's not the trend. No, 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 no. It's what's the word? I'm thinking of a word. I'm not getting the word right.
Fashion, fashion or not?
Tradition. It's tradition. It's tradition of the
Tradition.
podcast
Okay.
to ask, what's your
Okay.
morning routine look like? Because some
Yeah,
people have a really regime. They get up at a certain time and they do things in a certain type
I
of way.
know.
Like the first thing for me I do is I'm always do gratitude before I open my eyes for my kids, my
Mm-hmm.
grandchild, my two daughters, my son, and then my grandchild. Son. And that's what I do before I open my eyes. And I like say a little
Mm.
prayer. I attempt to
Mm-hmm.
do some journaling, but I never really have a routine. And I don't know, I just don't like kind of like you in a sense, funny enough. And I only eat when I need to. I don't go up, oh, I need to get up and I have to have breakfast. The one thing
Mm-hmm.
I will do is get some water, especially with the flow, with the feng
Mm-hmm.
shui, with your school community. I've started to open up the windows to get fresh air in, to circulate the air and all that, fresh light, open spaces, water.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so I really do incorporate that in since I went through the starting process of the feng shui challenge. So yeah.
Oh, so nice to hear that.
So,
Appreciate
but
it.
one thing I noticed that everyone's probably thinking, but we've not heard anything about. We've heard martial arts. So where's this come from? Where did that come from? When did you start to do feng shui? When did this come about?
It came from this healing. No, let me think. So, qigong, martial arts, all these Chinese teachers and philosophy and Taoism and sacred healing practices, and feng shui has um, spiritual aspect as well.
Yes.
So I think it was I don't remember years, but maybe 15, 20 years ago, I uh, I took a course with an interior design college, American college, specifically on feng shui. And of course, I read any possible available feng shui Chinese specialist translated into Bulgarian or Russian or English. So yeah, I believe, I mean, I told you that I'm sensitive to the world. I'm sensitive to spaces, to environment. And when I know that I can influence it, why not learn how to do it in a good way?
I do recall you saying before, which you did say you were sent when we had a conversation not even a week ago. I think it's like a week or a half ago, and we're talking about different elements, and I was saying how copper's
Yeah.
really good, and then you that conversation regarding because that's what I remember you were saying and record. Oh, you can actually be a certain type of way to different elements. Everyone, there's no right or wrong way, and there's nothing. Everyone eats different stuff, and some stuff
Hmm.
works for people, some people it don't.
Yeah.
So the whole when did you discover that copper was a problem for you?
It was long ago, about 30 years ago.
Wow. So you
Because
just
I
literally
received a
went,
gift. I received a gift, a healing bracelet that was copper, silver plated, and I was having pain in my wrist from wearing it.
okay. So how did you become Iskra? Like what we have now, the Iskra you are now, because there's so much different elements and different layers, and it's like what how did like because this you've got so much like there's not enough time like we have to do part one part two of interviewing Iskra because like I know there's more layers to you that we haven't got to yet so like where we're at now is that you're not doing filming no more you've gone into the martial arts what got you into teaching like you let's put it into perspective right right now I know you for being Iskra public speaker yes lady that helps people get onto TEDx stages. That's no little feat. That's a big deal. You know,
Mhm.
you've helped people to gain confidence. You've transformed people's lives. You've given them the confidence of money. You've helped me with my own issue situation with money, how I used to see it. I had okay, but you've made it being awesome. Like the way I look at money, the way I have a relationship with money. So like, where did this all come about? What got you to this path of like, you know what, film's not for me. I'm I really it's just not for me, but I want to get to some I want to go to this next place. What got you there? It's like, did you read a book? Did someone tell you something? Did you have a dream? Like, how did you get there, Iskra? Like, what?
So the thing is that I have not abandoned the film production company. I'm still there. I'm connecting. I'm advising. I have so many people, like so many of my connections and best friends there, still in media and film. So I have not stepped completely out, and I'm in some of
Okay.
the projects. I'm active. I never cut my connections. I never cut my roots. I'm just opening new ones. So let me think. How do I got into my main focus or my main passion right now, which is to hold space for people to transform and to rediscover, reinvent themselves, or to find their lights, and to
Mm.
magnetize it, as one amazing top copywriter recently suggested. Um, it's kind of all related because I remember the day it happened. I was invited to do a training in Greece in one big convention of martial artists. So I had to travel by car and then take the ferry, and they take my weapons and go and teach people how to fight with long stuff. But
Oh, okay,
but
okay.
my companion that we had to travel together, she couldn't. And then I said, I'm not traveling alone. I don't know how many hours. So I postponed it. We spoke about doing it another time. And then I had a whole weekend free. I said, okay, what am I going to do? And someone said, here is a shamanic seminar, shamanic healing. I said, what is that? Some woo woo stuff? Like, okay, but I'm curious. Let me go and check it. So I sign up for this seminar, 3 days, 2, 3 days. And I go there and I open the door and I see 20, 30 people in silence and hugging each other. And I say, okay, is this a cult? What is that? Where am I now? So I'm okay. Nothing is wrong with me, but I, because I'm brave, you know that, and I don't hesitate. I'm confident. I stepped, I immersed myself totally, and on day three, I'm sitting on the floor and crying, and all this deconstructed my whole ego and my whole identity, and everyone is hugging me and supporting me. And this is how my journey in conscious self transformation opened up. And from there, I started doing family constellations, then Satori retreats, full silence, Gurdjieff movement, Reiki, chakra reading. Like, I don't know how many certifications I have in healing modalities.
Addicted to healing modalities. The best way to
I don't know if
describe
it's
it.
addicting because no. Did I stop taking certifications? I think last year was my last one.
Some sort of an addiction. Like,
Yeah,
wow, like one
but
certificate. Okay, I need to get my next one. Oh, I need my other one.
no, 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 no. It's not like that. You start working and
I'm just
supporting
joking, but
yourself and
yeah.
others, and then you see, like, what if there is a way, or you hear something from someone that there is a way to help better and
Mhm.
in shorter time and less painful and less trauma and drama and all this stuff. And that's
Yeah.
why I'm learning something new to add on top of the things that I already know.
Because at one point it just seemed like an addiction, but clearly not. It's about caring for people and wanting to get them to the results quicker. So then you're like, oh, let
Mhm,
me actually go to learn this because I'll be able to help people with more in a better way than where I was
mm.
at before.
I remember something and another
Go on,
crucial thing.
go for
Did,
it.
did we finish? In
No, I did.
2010, I think I started learning how to become a Bowen therapist from a the English lady who lived in Bulgaria. She's also, she was into Ayurveda. I think she was maybe the president of the British Ayurveda associations for certain time, something like that. So
Yeah.
another level of expansion and growth. And I think because of this Bowen therapy that we were exchanging while we were studying, this is how I got I mean, but I don't know whether you know, but Bowen is used to for fertility treatment. And
Yes.
we were five women who studied in this course, and we all got pregnant the next year.
What?
And I gave birth to my younger son naturally, without C-section, without anesthesia, when I was 43 years old. And I
Wow.
had to fight. We had to search for a hospital, maternity hospital, to give us permission to have a natural birth.
So let me just get this right, because you just the way you just breezed past that like it was nothing. You all got pregnant at the same time.
Yeah, because we were healing each other, and we
Obviously
were
not for this. It's
clearing
I was
within
one thing
one
I've
year. Within one year, it just
so
happened.
you, within 1 year, every single one of you got pregnant at the same time.
Yeah, maybe one, two ladies
Obviously different
did it.
partners.
Of course. I mean, it
But
has had nothing to do.
it's just the way you dropped it.
Everyone,
That's like
yeah, yeah,
I have
yeah.
to
It wasn't.
clarify what was going on here because I was like,
No,
what?
it wasn't a sect. It wasn't nothing. It just happened that we were in this age
In the
that
same
was possible.
frequency as well.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, some of the ladies, they were very young. I
Wow.
was at this, yeah, only this age. Yeah.
That's so not all at the same time, as in you all had the babies at the same
No,
date,
no, 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 no. Of course not. But
in the same
throughout,
period
because
as. Oh,
it
okay.
was a 2 year training, so it's not a short course because you get properly certified and you do all the anatomy, physiology, all these exams. And we had to exchange very intensely therapy sessions between each other.
Wow, it does sound quite intense, I have to say. I was just like,
Hmm.
wow, wow.
Yeah.
So from that period on, you just had your second born. What was like, did you take some time out, or did you just was you still working? What was this, how was it looking for you? Because
Oh,
being a
this
mother
is
is not
this
easy.
this is look how naturally we came to the actual thing, to the actual reason. When I had my second son, this is when I started feeling that I cannot be anymore. I mean, it took years to be present in production the way I was before, because it takes it all. You have to be there 24 hours. Um, there is no private time. Like, I always speak about this, so it's not a single story, but I would get out at 4 5 a.m. and my son is asleep, and then I come back at 1 at night. Like, the driver drives me home and he's asleep and I cannot see him for a couple of days, and my partner had to bring him to the set while it's so stressful and always things to always fires to put off, and the baby is there and wants to be with mama. So this was very hard. And this
Wow.
was actually how gradually I started seeing that these are the most precious years, and the stress that I'm accumulating. And there were some moments when I'm in bed, my son is asleep next to me, and I'm so stressed and I have panic attack and I cannot breathe and my chest is tight, and I'm thinking, am I going to wake up? Am I going to die? And then
Whoa.
it just happened that it it wasn't a mental decision. It was life brought me to the point to say that it cannot go like that.
I see. I see.
So
What
nothing has ever been a rational planned decision. Just the mind tells you something, like for me at least.
I see.
Some
Wow.
people say I set my mind on that. I don't set my mind. I set my whole body, or my body drives me, or my higher self is using me to bring a decision.
Angela Perry says, "Wow, stress will do that to you."
Hmm.
Thanks for joining us, Angela. Wow, that is deep. So stress, as they say, is a can really end your end your existence. Because I know it's very certain words you cannot use anymore. Obviously, school's a bit different, but when it goes on YouTube, you have to be careful what you say. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's quite deep. I mean, one of the
Hmm.
things I really got from you is the fact that you taught yourself to heal yourself, and you made it seem like it was just so simple, like it was like everyone can do it. So yeah, I just created these little things in my body, and they built healed my lungs, and they were working, doing their work, road works and everything, and they healed me. But like,
Um,
have you got
it's
better at doing that now, would you say? Have you really understand your body from all of the learning and all of the resources and everything you've tapped into, the martial arts, the science?
I think
Wow.
this is for episode 235.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do a part two because there's like you're like it's like definitely you let us know in the chat if you would like a part two because I understand you've been there and you've got your questions you want to ask and Iskra was very much said she didn't want to have a webinar, she wanted it to be very interactive so you can ask questions. But I have to ask this one question. It's like we still ain't even got to we and there's certain places that I know you've done really big stuff. Like you've been on places like Mind Valley, for example. Mind Valley
Mhm,
is literally what got me to tap back into when I was working a 9 to 5, back into to that personal development, back into believing that I am capable of doing so much more than what I was currently doing before, just delivering boxes. Obviously, there was stuff
mhm.
in there was sentimental and stuff that people don't really need because they're spending the money because they feel they need to. So, how did you get to Mind Valley? Like, what? How far? What's the gap? How many years? Like, what got you there?
Like, I don't know whether it was clear until now, but I believe that things are meant to happen if we let ourselves follow them. So everything that I was telling until now, everything, one thing led to another. That's why I'm telling a little bit pre-story, the story, and a
Yes,
little after story.
I have to watch this over about twice just to get back what because there's so much levels of learning in this. Wow, thank
Yeah,
you.
and yeah, so I was let me think. So I was already for 9, 10 years into personal development, and I did lots of stuff. I did also while I was being trained to do Bowen. Bowen has also energetic aspect. Not everyone knows. People think that Bowen is working with the hands and with the fascia, but I can do distant Bowen healing. Not many people, and it's not possible at any level. So I was exploring myself. I did some very deep work with Kabbalah astrologer, and things happened in my life. Um, and there was one year that I enrolled in a 12-month program. Um, Something about manifestation. I think it was 2017. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And I volunteered to be the facilitator of our weekly session for sharing about our manifestation and setting. It was about Year of Miracles. There is a program that is called Your Year of Miracle or something like that.
Okay.
And every Sunday morning at 6 o'clock, I would gather the ladies from Canada, Australia. We were from all over the world, and I was trained. I volunteered to learn how to do that. And on one of the monthly calls, there was a guest speaker in the program. It was Lisa Nichols. And I listened to her that
Lisa Nichols.
I'm
Yes.
I'm going for her. And then I learned during this presentation, during this session, that she has a course on Mind Valley. And this is how I started with Mind Valley. I
Oh
joined
wow.
this program that was about inspirational speaking. The thing is, and I'm very responsibly am saying it because maybe someone from Mind Valley or her program would say there was not enough support for the people who are going through the program. There were not enough support, very responsibly saying, because the work is so transformational and people can break down and reconstruct themselves, but someone needed to hold space for them, for this um, vulnerability that was required for people to tell stories, for learning how to communicate with others in the family, within the communities, because the community started growing up to 10,000 people, I think, at certain moment. And there were a couple of us, I think we were about 9, 10 people, if I am not mistaken, who we started supporting everyone who was there.
Okay.
Like someone would post and we would come and comment and cheer up and encourage them and tell them it's okay to cry, it's okay, don't worry if someone is giving bad comments, etc., because we were challenged to post on social media or to post in the community. And at certain moment, Mind Valley, the management saw that things are changing, and because of our presence there, the performance and the completion rate of the program grew up a lot. So they invited us on a call. We started talking, and we formed the very first ambassador group. And we were not even called ambassadors back then. We were the tribe elders, like in the
Yeah.
indigenous places. So
Wow.
we started gathering together and thinking about what strategy can we apply, how can we moderate this group, how can we keep supporting people. And this is how we started. And then, I mean, we were the very first 9, 10 people, I think. And then it grew up into a whole thing of 200, 300 ambassadors, with systems, with rewards. We did all for free.
Wow. That's quite a resume.
Mm.
So what got you so did you what transitioned you from where did you go next from Mind Valley is the question that I wanted to ask.
I went to
Anyone has questions,
Evercoach. I went
you
to
went where?
Evercoach. Evercoach.
Coach.
Evercoach is the sister company, was the sister company. I think now they're part of Mind Valley. So
Okay.
I started taking my coaching certifications, I think in 2016 or 17. And then I saw that Evercoach exists and I joined a couple of programs. And then I saw that they need the same support. So I spoke with the people who managed Evercoach and told them, why don't we create ambassadors for Evercoach too? And they accepted it. So
Wow.
I'm one of the first ambassadors in Evercoach, and I have a personal video acknowledgement by the founder,
Okay.
because due
Nice.
to our work there, they reached close to 100% completion rate, which was unheard in one of their or in two of their courses that were
Wow.
about starting your coaching business. Yeah,
Wow. So
you
how long was you
asked.
yeah, but how long was you there for? Yeah, I did ask. Questions in the chat or did you wanna where do you want like wow, I'm still like when did you actually get to school? I was like, how did you get to school? How did you get to school? What got you there? If I
One of
fast
my
track you,
mentors. One of my
one of you,
mentors. Yeah,
one of
he
you mentors.
was his program was first delivered on Facebook through a Facebook community. Of course, we had our private portals, etc. And then when he decided to move to school, I also discovered the platform, and I moved there. Even though while he was doing his work on Facebook, I wasn't happy with Facebook. I had my community on Heartbeat. It's another alternative to school.
Oh, it's called Heartbeat?
Heartbeat, very nice place with very nice founders. Yeah.
Okay, I've never heard that one. I'm gonna check that one out.
Mm.
So are you
And I
still there
had
now?
a, I'm not, because what I see is that they don't, maybe they have advanced, but I have grown roots on school. They don't have this possibility to discover communities
Oh,
the way we are here on school, and to discover each
oh,
other. So
you
they
don't have
don't
to.
have this discovery thing. But they didn't. Maybe they do now. But when I was there, my community was one of the most active and engaged, and they invited me to train them to do a presentation how to keep engaged communities, because it
Nice,
was very nice tight space. And the thing that they have is that it was possible in one community to host separate channels of communication. And this is what I asked today in schoolers. Was it in schoolers? No, it was in my community. This is what I miss really, because I
yeah,
would like to talk to the different tiers, to the different segments. I want to have a channel for my affiliates. So hopefully this will happen one
So,
day.
what was your first community on school?
My first community on school was on self leadership, and there was a moment when you would search leadership, we would come as number one. But then I stepped out for some time, and then I came back, and when I came back, I really liked it more. So now my communities are with a little different focus. It's not completely different, but it's more about internal work with external um, expression, let's say.
Okay. So, Adam, Tina, Evelyn, Angela, have you got any questions? Do you have any questions? Oh, do I have to give you approval to talk? I don't know. Let me have a look at that audio.
To
So,
whom
wow,
to do?
you've really come a long way, and I feel like we still didn't quite get as much as your story as I would like to get.
No
What's your
questions. No
no
questions. But
questions?
wow, what a interesting life you have led. That is
Mm,
really beautiful. I loved
thank you.
hearing it. You're
Thank you
welcome.
so Thank you, Evelyn. Yeah, it's a lot.
Barry's giving you flowers.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Angela, you got a question?
Yes. So as I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, and I'm in your community, and we join so many communities sometimes just for support. And after the conversation, I'm thinking, well, where do I start in your community? Like, I know I've been there for a while, but I hadn't like completely gone through all the classrooms. What would I do knowing, okay, I need to work on my inner thoughts, even
Mm,
reframing. I think I was talking to Andrew the other day about the money mindset of, okay, I know I'm worthy of this, but how do I
mhm,
charge according to the accolades and my experiences, and even paying for education? I've been to college and XYZ. So I think sometimes life kind of beats us up in a situation. So even grounding myself in that way.
mhm. So I would tell you what can you do in the community, because
Hmm.
I have simplified it and I reworked it, and I did record a video with guiding, but I will have to publish it. So when you join the community, the very first thing that I invite everyone to do is to take a quiz that I have designed, and the quiz shows you how 12 areas of your life are relating to each other, and you can see that you may think that this is not a priority, but actually, if you honestly answer all the questions, and there are a lot, then kind of objectively you will see the picture of your life. You will
Okay.
sometimes like more spiky, sometimes it's more round. When it's more round, it means that it's more balanced. And when you see the dip, sometimes there are more than one dips, then this is a question. Do I have to do something
Mm,
here? What's the reason? And I have broken these 12 areas into four clusters. I call them the four directions of the inner compass. And one of them is about health and wellness, mental health, emotions, etc. The other one is work, money, and business. The third one is impact, self expression, visibility. And the fourth one is love, relationships, family. So when you define where you could place, you have this suggestion from the quiz,
mhm,
and of course you have your right, your will. You can choose where you want to put your focus. Then the suggestion is to take one of the free challenges that are available for this domain, for this area, for this direction of
mm,
the inner compass. So it is a
okay.
journey. That's why today I made the post and I said, guys, please
Yes,
go
yes, I
through
saw it.
this first step, and take the little steps, and it will take you to your personal unique journey, because I don't like to put people in boxes. So everyone starts with the quiz. You get your wheel of aligned life and you see where it is misaligned, and then you can take one of the free challenges that are available in the classroom. And after that, if people want closer support on calls, they could sign up for premium. In premium, they get access to some amazing programs that are more related to business, but also the flow with feng shui is also in the classroom, which Andrew can talk about it, which brings harmony externally but also internally, and for him it unleashed abundance.
Oh my gosh, I absolutely love that. I haven't even completed it, and I just got so much transformation. I need to complete it because it was such a change. I mean,
And also in our classroom, like not even not for premium, I think at level 5, I the or even 4, there is a replay of this energy, talking with money, this session, stepping into the energy of money, the recording that takes you on a journey with these questions. So you can go again through it, Andrew, if you want. So everyone has access to it. You just have to get to level 4.
is that the same? Is that the recording I was on? Was that the one? Or was that
Yes.
something? Is it? Oh wow. Okay, that was really good. That I actually didn't think anything was going to happen from it. It was actually really transformative.
I'm
Made a
using the
massive
yeah, I'm
difference.
using the system of sacred money archetypes by Kendall Summerhawk, and it's very powerful because through this questionnaire, through this assessment, you actually discover your natural patterns, your archetypes, and you see that you don't have to judge yourself. You have to learn how to navigate what is already present for you. I have clients who say that for them it was so eye-opening because they learned to understand better their spouse and not criticize them, because they just see that their archetype is different and their strategies how to work together, even though they have different nature, different archetypes. So we have a training, free training on befriending money in the classroom.
Oh yeah, that's what it's called, befriending money. So Adam asked the question. He wanted to know what keeps you motivated, Iskra.
What keeps me motivated? I just love life. I'm curious about life, as I said in the warm up video. And I have my sons, I have my granddaughters, I have my 2 dogs, I have my parents, I have friends. I like to support the community. I'm a pro bono mentor in a local mentorship program that works with kids. And when I see how they change and they light up and they find answer to questions that were puzzling them, like, this is what motivates me, to see the light in the eyes of someone and smile or more peace. And I think this is the most magical thing, because when this happens to them, I receive a lot too. We constantly exchange energy. We exchange energy through the screen.
Yeah, totally agree. And regarding the whole thing with that, one thing about you and your community, you're just not in the community. You do reach out, and it's so nice the way you reach out. The way it's just so warming and it's so encouraging. It's so supportive. You don't just hide in your community like some community owners do. You do branch out. In fact, look, you actually offered this interview, and I was kind of thinking to myself, "Is she going to say yes? You're going to say yes? Oh, I don't know." You know what I mean? So I was kind of like really happy when you said yes. You know. And I did say from early, from when we first made our first
I
interaction,
remember, but
I,
it
I,
wasn't
I
obviously
asked
the
to
right
interview.
time.
Yes, yes. And I wanted you to be a guest speaker, but it was not the right time. There's a time, there's the right time. My mother used
Yeah,
to say, God, there's the right time when it's supposed to take place. But yeah, cool.
yeah.
Questions, Tina? I know Tina had some questions. Did she type it down
I
somewhere?
don't have questions. It was just really interesting. And there was like a lot of parallels in our journey, which I just found super interesting, from somatics to advertising to their martial arts. And
Oh,
I feel like those kind of embodied, expressive, creative energies really drive us forward and leads us to a lot of empathy and curiosity. So yeah, it was really interesting to hear your journey and kind of where you're taking
Mm,
everything now and sharing your wisdom. So thank you.
thank you so much for being here, because what I said, now your presence here, I sense it, and it's so important. I'm coming back to how you started, Andrew. You said that I didn't want to know the questions
Yes, yes,
because I'm an intuitive speaker. I appear on summits and real stage speaking events, and
yeah.
I don't know what am I going to talk, because I need to feel the audience. I need to feel the speakers before that, and whatever I do, it is in the right context because it feels the right energy.
Goosebumps. You know what? I'm very similar because I don't like people telling me what the questions they're gonna ask me. So I was kind of when you said you didn't want to know, majority of people every time I've asked, they always like send me the questions like 2 weeks in advance. Send me it like they won't show up. They'll be like, no, let me see the questions first. And I'm like, okay, fine. So I have it already, little press kit, questions I'm gonna ask you, why I'm asking you the questions. And right now I want to interview someone and they said they got to speak to their comms team. And I'm like, really? Gonna take like a million times, a million people to connect through. I was like, really? That's what an interview. It's not that deep. You know what I mean? But yeah, I get it. I just love the fact that you're just here and you're just like straight away, you was just like, yep, I would love to do the interview.
If you would give me the questions, then I would have gone through them. I would have gotten some answers, and the answers wouldn't be alive. If I come now and I already answered them, then what am I going to say now? I cannot repeat myself.
Yeah, it's kind of scripted, isn't it? That's the thing. So yeah, yeah, I see what you're saying. But I do always throw in other questions in. But I love that. I love the fact you came unprepared. That's absolutely awesome. But there's one question that no one has asked, and I want to ask you this question because you did talk about being bullied, and I've been bullied before, and I know how I've built my confidence. But how did you find your confidence?
I find my confidence through this event with my partner, because I was forced to be confident. I had to. So it's not as simple as it may sound, but and this is also what I teach my clients. When they don't feel motivated, here, the question about motivation,
Yes.
when they don't mobilize themselves, I always tell them, I invented a word, I like to play with words, motivactor, motivational factor. Find someone outside of you who is so important to you and do something for them. So I had my partner that was almost dying, and I couldn't think, am I going to be shy to speak with the chief of the police? What will people at the Red Cross think of me, and me begging for money? It's not. I need to feed my son. I need to pay the rent. I need to buy the very expensive medications. I need to make sure that he's brought back into the hospital. So there is no hesitation. So there is no question about confident or shy or timid. Like, no, it's just being present.
Wow. Wow. So during that period of time there is what made you just have to find your confidence. Basically what you're saying. You didn't have a choice.
I found my strength. Of course, I had so many moments of self doubt. I still didn't like myself. I didn't like how I looked, and I didn't trust people. But there is no way something to stop me. Like, I'm so fearless. The only fear I could have is for the health or safety of my children. Like, there is no way someone could stop me from wanting something and not getting it.
So when we get to this position here now, you're in school. What is next for you? What are you working on right now? Do you have any projects coming up? Where are you right now? What's happening? Because it's January, it's the start of the year. Everyone's made their goals, and some of them have destroyed them. Some of them have thrown them in the bin and given up on life, and such as how they see it. They're not going to the gym no more, and they're binge eating, watching Netflix, chilling. You know what I mean? If you know what
This
Netflix
is also
is.
nice. I like to binge watch Netflix. Yeah. So what is next? I developed this tool, the vector of intention, and there is a replay of this process guided. I did it as a therapeutic session. It's
Mm.
transformational. One of my best friends, she gave permission to share it with the community. So I call it vector of intention because vector has a start and has a direction but doesn't have an end. And this is how I set my goals. I cannot set fixed goals. I just know the direction I set it. It comes from my belly, from my heart, from the roots. These are terms from martial arts. And I send it into the future, and I know that I'm guided by this desire, by this intention. And then I just walk in this direction. So this is how I set my goals. What is next is I am guided to go deeper and to start working again closer in deep transformational, to do deep transformational work with individuals who are ready to start living their purpose, to living their potential, to living in their light. Because there were maybe the last 2 years, I was more focused on communities. I was focused more on implementation and practical stuff. But I feel that it is also there are some select individuals, because I cannot work with many people, maybe maximum 10 a year, 10 clients, 10, 12 people who need to actually transform. This is what is next. And at the same time, I have my other businesses and projects, and maybe we will, not maybe we will, we are working on realizing a big project, construction project with ecological housing in the mountains. And yeah, whatever comes alive.
So,
And connections, like the intention, the desire attracts the right people. This is what I truly believe.
so at the moment, correct me if I'm wrong, you have how many? You have 3 communities, is that right? Or do you have more than
I
three?
have four. I just
Four.
created a fourth one in Bulgarian because I want to give back to my local society, to my local community.
Okay, congratulations. 4 communities. And how do they differ? Well, how do they differ? Or do they not?
So I will tell. It's very interesting. It comes back to the question, what do you choose? I cannot choose one thing. I need to have this flywheel of stuff, or gyroscope, which has different directions and spinning for being centered. So the hub is the next chapter in life and business, where people come and take the quiz and see where do I go. But I'm also this person, cyclical, balancing yin yang. So I have the yin community separately, only for people who want to be quiet, as you were. There was no big interaction. You go through the daily audios, you do the internal work, the feng shui, the concentration, meditation. There are meditations and like very simple things to follow. This is the yin space, and the yang space, more expressive, is for people who want to put them out there, bold and visible, because I have other methods, the superpowers to bring them out. And this is a space also for people who want to become public speakers.
Okay.
So I have the hub, the yin community, the yang community, and I have the Bulgarian community. Maybe there will be time in the future. This is what I feel, but it's not yet. The time is not yet to do something on holistic healing and
Mm.
holistic health, because I might have 14 different certificates as a healer and therapist.
So I
I'm a
was thinking,
compassion key therapist, emotion code, Reiki master, and lots of other things.
yeah, because I was thinking that I haven't seen you doing that, but you've got this not only the experience, you've got the certification to deliver it.
I do
Yeah.
therapy. I have clients who come just for therapy to me, not only for coaching and mentoring.
Okay. Okay. Wow. I was thought, is it glitching or is there two Tinas? Am I seeing things? So
Yeah.
right now in your community, do you have anything coming up? Any calendar dates? Any podcasting? What's happening for you? Have you got any
So
next interviews that I can find you to get the rest of your story?
what is happening in my community? Everyone who gets to level 6 is being interviewed
Oh,
in the
nice.
community. So come join, get to level 6. If you get to level 6, this means that you will have also gone through this very precious self-paced programs. Right now, we're finishing the Show Up Challenge, which is my proprietary method for transformation, for showing up, for stepping into your self-worth. This is actually the program that is guilty for creating TEDx speakers and people launching their programs or finding the loves of their lives. So I'm giving a very light, just an idea about the structure of the process. And in February, I'm going to launch the fourth direction of the compass, just to complete the package of free trainings, which will be about communication and relationships. Empathic communication, how to set boundaries, to do carefrontation. Carefrontation, I heard it from Lisa Nichols, then I did studies and I upgraded the process. It is a term that exists for 25, 30 years. So it's about handling hard conversations that we have occasionally at home, at work, in the community, online. I have also created protocols how to do safe communication online. This is what I was teaching the other tribe ambassadors of Evercoach and Mind Valley, because you get to handle some conflicts there. So this is coming in February, and my big program, I'm relaunching it too, the Show Up Incubator, which is the work of my life as a coach and mentor. It's a 6 months, very going very deep and very amazing.
Is there like a set number of people you're going to be bringing to this? Or how does this work?
I could work with 4 people.
Okay.
Uh, this is what I mean, speaking with one of my mentors, because I work with mentors too, and healers and therapists and my coaches. I don't want to work with more than 12 people a year. So it would be either 2 cohorts of 6 people or 3 cohorts of 4 going through the incubator, because we go deep, and it's a very precious work. I need to be in touch with people and be very careful about
You know, the name's
the
very interesting. You call it incubator. So is there some sort of device they'd be going into? Like, what? Incubator,
Why
like,
is it? It's a very interesting, again, yin yang. Now, while you're asking me, I just see how it is. Incubator is safe and protected and
okay.
nurturing, and it's about showing up. And it is, I called it like that because it's a very safe space where people can be who they are. They can share themselves and they feel supported, they're seen, they're mirrored, they're nurtured. And everyone has said that this is a place they don't find anywhere else. That's why I decided to offer also continuous support, because when someone goes and reinvents, rebuilds themselves, when they go back to the normal life, and only to the normal life, and not and stop having this support, things feel different. But such amazing friendships and brotherhoods and sisterhoods have been created. It's already 5 years since I launched the very first version of it, and people are still in touch with each other.
Wow. And you know what? I was just like thinking to myself, I didn't want to keep you too long, but your story's so interesting. I mean, like, wow, I really do appreciate your time. Thank you for having your time. Has anyone else got any questions or anything you want to say? Or feel free to unmic or turn on your camera if you would like to. But
Yeah, you can turn the camera on if you want, and if you, of course, if you're okay to be available, not available, seen, visible online, because I think this will be somewhere, maybe.
here we go. I see there's two. I don't know if it's glitching.
Hmm.
So how can everyone connect with you? You've got your four school communities. It is kind of glitching. I don't know. It's like
People
games
can
going on.
Yeah, people can find me through your community. You can find my profile. If you're on Schoolers, Iskra Petrova, you just find me there. I don't think there is another Iskra Petrova. On all social media, like literally on every channel, I'm the Iskra Petrova. Do I have to write it somewhere? We didn't do that. We had to prepare. I was thinking to make a um to make a how to go barcode. Okay, so everywhere I am. Okay, come on, dog. I have two dogs now, very curious, and they want to go out.
I could feel them. That's what I was saying. I didn't want to keep you too. I could feel that they're going to start to get
Yeah,
impatient.
just a sec. I don't know whether this is readable. Is it?
Very
Is it?
reasonable.
Is it? I think we see it mirrored,
At,
so
no,
people
no,
will
it's not
see it
mirrored. It's
mirrored.
fine. It's fine. At the
Yeah, Iskra Petrova. So
Iska
everywhere,
Petrova. Iska
Petrova.
Petrova. Petrova.
Yes, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, X, Pinterest, like everywhere. I'm not sure
Basically,
about Pinterest, but yeah, on all
you're on
media.
Pinterest
Yeah.
as well. Everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much everywhere. Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time. I mean, wow. What a story. Part two, maybe, maybe. Wow. That was very incredible. What would you say you are going to do in the next 5 years? Have you
Oh,
planned that
no
far?
idea. Absolutely no. I'm telling you, I'm in the moment. Like there
I
is
love
no
that.
way.
There's
There is no
literally
way. I will tell you what is like the last thing is what my attitude to setting goals is.
Mhm.
They have to be dynamic and they have to move and grow with us, because if I set my mind on something today and something happens until tomorrow or until next week, then it will not be valid anymore. So that's why I'm working with the vector of intention. I set the direction, I know where I'm going, but I cannot fix exactly the parameters. So my intention, if you ask me about an intention, maybe this was the context of the question and I just put it through a filter, is I want freedom. I want to be closer to my children. I
Yes.
want to travel and see my best friends in New Zealand and in Greece and in Minnesota. My yeah, three amazing ladies.
Nice.
And my business is to be working without me being so much into them.
Nice. So
So
basically more time
wisdom,
freedom.
skills, yeah, more,
Time
yeah,
freedom.
mm-hmm,
Nice.
yeah.
Thank you for being an awesome guest and being our first guest of the
I
Born
thank
Leader
you for the
podcast.
opportunity, and thank you so much, everyone who stayed with us for so long. And your energy was felt and appreciated. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Got hearts from Adam. Adam, is your mic working, Adam? I thought you wanted to say something. Your hearts is well, you got hearts coming in. That would be so nice if that was actually recorded on the call. He's unmiked and then he mic'd. I don't know if it's working.
Mm.
It's interesting, but yeah. There we go. We've got something.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. I'm in a very loud place, so I don't want to annoy anyone listening.
Yeah, that's okay. We heard you clear. So thank you
Oh,
so
good.
much for being here. Thank you for the hearts and the question.
Thank you, Iskra.
Any final questions? Anything anyone wants to say? And the final. I said final questions before. I'll just keep it. I'm just keeping you. No, thank you, Iskra. Absolutely fantastic guest. Really did appreciate your time. Everyone knows how you can connect with you. Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow. Wow. What a story. I thought I knew quite a bit about you, but clearly not. There's way more stuff that you have. That your life
Th-
has been a
This
very
is the
adventurous.
touching the surface.
Yeah. Literally. Yeah. Literally that. Wow. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
I
Wow.
thank you. Thank you, Andrew. I appreciate you all.
Oh, what an interview. So that's the way we started off the Born Leader podcast. Who's going to be the next guest? I'm planning to do every Wednesday. That's the plan, but we'll see. We'll see. Because I know we were supposed to have a guest on Monday, but I want it to be on the actual day, same day, every week, like clockwork.
Mm, amazing.
Fantastic. Thank you.